And we're back to learning Photoshop manipulations. Let me show you a double landscape band effect. So I copy the original 2 times because we need it for right and left. Let's stick to the top one, right first. I press Ctrl T and then we right click and flip it horizontally. We have to do that for both images, but the rotation is different for left and right. You can see it here. If I rotate it clockwise, that wouldn't fit for the right hand side because we want to have the water on the right. So here we have to use counterclockwise. So let me press Ctrl Z and I use right click, rotate counterclockwise, press enter, and we now need the bottom right corner of the image and place it to the bottom right of our canvas. Let's go to the left and do it again. So I make right invisible, switch to the left layer, Ctrl T, right click, flip horizontal. So that step is the same, and then right click, and this time we don't want to have counterclockwise because you can see that wouldn't fit for the left hand side. So Ctrl Z, I right click and I use rotate 90 degrees clockwise. And now we have the water on the left. You can press enter and we put the bottom left corner to the bottom left canvas corner here. And we've got what we want. Let's start with the left first. On the layer I use the pen tool. Make sure it's set to path and you want to start right here. Top right corner, go to the bottom left and then close a triangle. You can use the direct selection tool here, A is the short key, and reposition these nodes a little bit. You want to hit these corners perfectly with your line. The diagonal line is important here. Then activate the pen tool again, right click and use make selection. Set the feather to 0 if it isn't set to 0. And then use the layer mask down here. To invert the layer mask, just press Ctrl I. You can see this is what we want, and we also want that for the right hand side. So let me make that visible again. I use the pen tool once more. Set to path. This time I go to the top left and bottom right. Close my triangle. Use the direct selection tool to reposition the nodes a little bit. Only the diagonal line here is important. We want to hit the corners perfectly. Once we've got it, we activate the pen tool, right click on it, make selection, feather is 0, confirm we are OK, use the layer mask and then invert it using Ctrl I. So far so good. Waves are fine, but the sky looks a little bit off, so we need to fix that, and we can easily do that if we stay on the layer mask here. So these rectangles that are black and white on the right hand corner of the 2 layers. Use the brush tool and then make the hardness 100%. Adjust the size a little bit if you have to. It depends on the canvas that you've got. And then just paint over it. And you can see this brings the original image back. Here on the corners I size down my brush and I go over it in detail. Once you've got that, we need to do the same for the left layer. Once again, make sure that you're on the layer mask and not the layer. And I paint over it with a black color. So black conceals, white reveals, if you haven't heard that before. So if we use black here, it's gonna bring back our original layer. So layer 0 in my layers menu. And that's what we want. That's the entire effect. If you want to add a model, for example, you can easily do that here. Just right click outside of your canvas, show the contextual text bar, remove the background. And how you can actually use this relatively new harmonize function is going to blend it a little bit better with the environment. So it's going to find basically the color tone and adjust it. If you're not happy with the results, you can also do that manually. So let me delete that and show you quickly. You can, for example, press Ctrl T here, size it down a little bit if you want to. And then afterwards go to adjustment layers and use, for example, the curves. Make sure that you right click on it and use create clipping mask. So this is going to clip it to the layer below, which is our model. You can see that it leaves the other layers unaffected. And now you can adjust here the brightness contrast and therefore make it have somewhat of the same color tone, which blends it a little bit better. And this is how you can create this double landscape band effect in Photoshop. Hope this video was helpful. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.